Okay, I thought before I take you to the written word on my blog, I'd just do a quick introduction. That's because I'm guessing that you're here because you've either never used a recruitment agency before, perhaps you have, but it wasn't the experience that you hoped. Perhaps it wasn't as successful as you expected. So I'm going to give you some tips, do's and don'ts for choosing a recruitment agency. But before we start, I want to just outline that maybe you get this, maybe you don't, because you're here now, that recruitment is highly skilled. It's very highly skilled. Recruiting talented people has been getting harder for the last 5 years, in my opinion. We definitely have a talent shortage, and we are now, as I speak, almost October 2021. Dare I use the words post-pandemic, and the landscape has changed dramatically again. We now understand the term hybrid working wasn't even in our vocabulary a few months ago. Things have changed, people have changed, organisations have changed, and the way that we work has to change. It also means that for a lot of individuals who are employed, their desire to move from their current employer is no longer there. Some of the reasons that I might choose to move on from a job have been removed, or the concern has been reduced. If it was travel, maybe I'm not travelling so frequently. If I'm not keen on my boss, I'm perhaps not running into him and her on a daily basis, and it's become much more palatable. So attracting people and keeping them has become much, much harder. So when you read through my do's and don'ts, I want you to just frame in your mind, this is highly skilled. It's a really important job, and you shouldn't underestimate the importance of finding the right person to work with you. And I say with you, not for you. You should be finding a recruiter that is in partnership with you, that takes the time to get to know what you need and why, and to help guide you and support you through that process. It's not likely to be entirely straightforward from here on in, and the skill shortage is not going to get any easier. So don't devalue this important skill to recruit, but consider what it is that you need and want, and find somebody that will deliver that for you. It's a really important job for you to do that. I also want you to think that the current model for recruitment agencies, which I personally think needs changing, and we're working on that as an organisation, is to only pay people once they deliver. And there's this kind of idea about chucking out a job vacancy to 4 or 5 agencies and only paying one of them for the work that they've done. And I want you to think about how motivated you would be if you were given a piece of work that you weren't potentially going to be paid for no good reason. You may have worked incredibly hard, put in a lot of man hours, and you did it for free. And think about how that would make you feel, because that's an important aspect when you're choosing somebody to work with you. Personally, I'm not going to run away and do a lot of work if I don't think there's a chance of filling that vacancy, or you're not being entirely honest with me as an organisation about what it is you want and need, or you're not returning calls and providing feedback on CVs and interviews. So I'm trying to kind of frame you as to how a recruitment agent is thinking, because it's a really important part of the process and will help you to think about the sort of questions that you might want to ask a potential supplier. Anyway, enough of the chit chat. I'm now going to provide you with some top tips on how to find a recruitment agency that you can work with.